Okay, the Dark Universe. How do we get here? I guess it had to evolve from the whole thing with Harry Potter, I guess, is what started. Not necessarily started, movie franchises. Of course not. It's been way before that. But, where movies just build their own little world. For me personally, I would have to say, like, Harry Potter is what really showed me about a movie having its own complete world. With the 8 movies that they created, and let alone, now they have the Fantastic Beasts and where to find them. I had never seen it myself. But I would say that the Marvel Cinematic Universe is what had to put this whole universe concept on the map, really. Because, yes, we have the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and we have the DCU, or DC Cinematic Universe, correction. And there's also the now MonsterVerse, with the after having Kong Skull Island, the first Godzilla movie, then to come is the second Godzilla movie, and after that is Kong versus Godzilla, which I'm looking forward to that. It's an interesting thing. I will talk about that eventually and make a video about that whole thing. But at the moment, now we have the Dark Universe, which was originally supposed to start with Dracula Untold, but because of the ratings and how well that movie didn't do, they now decided to go with The Mummy to be the first movie. And that is the issue that we've gotten. That's the problem with the whole thing of The Mummy, and the fact that they're trying to create a whole dark universe. Because to be quite honest, yes, nobody really is asking for a monster verse, but at the same time, who really is asking for a dark universe where we're getting the old classical monsters such as Dracula, Frankenstein, the Wolfman, the Invisible Man, the Phantom of the Opera, and they want to make a movie about the Bride of Frankenstein. I'm not really sure what the order really is, but they already did cast some people for this, such as Johnny Depp to play the Invisible Man. That's the thing that I feel like they're just like, this is all just like a money game, because the Mummy was terrible. The movie did awful. I seen it. There's so many problems wrong with the movie where it's just, how can you really be entertained by it? And like, they're just trying to shoehorn the fact that they are a universe. They're not establishing, the Mummy's not establishing itself as a standalone movie. I get it. You're trying to create a universe and you're trying to make people like appeal to it, but the problem is that your movie doesn't mean anything. It doesn't show it as a movie of its own. When you watch The Mummy, you're gonna compare it to the Brandon Fraser Mummy, or even the old classical Mummy, which is what they were going for. But at the same time, they were trying to compare it to the Brandon Fraser one, which was a great franchise in itself. Maybe the third one wasn't that great, but still, it had the adventure in there, which is why you really enjoy it. Kind of remind you a little bit of Indiana Jones, which is a franchise of itself that we all love. But the problem that the Dark Universe may come to is that the fact that the Mummy didn't do great for it. It didn't help at all. But now they plan on having a Van Helsing movie as well. But there really is no real end game. Because what is it that all these monsters who are live in the same universe is supposed to come to? Because if you watch The Mummy, and spoiler alert for those of you that haven't seen it, at the end of the movie, Russell Crowe, who plays Dr. Jackal, he says at the end of the movie that to defeat a monster, you must become a monster. And he's referencing to Tom Cruise, as Tom Cruise becomes the initial Mummy. He has the rapping and everything, and then he eventually gains the power of the Mummy. So he is the Mummy. He is the title character in the end. And Tom Cruise has become a monster. But with the lineup of movies that they're creating, there's the Van Helsing movie that they want to reboot for some reason, when the original Van Helsing was a good movie of its own, and it was a really good movie, even though they're not in the same world. And then they want to make a Frankenstein movie. They want to make the Bride of Frankenstein, the Phantom of the Opera, the Hunchback of Notre Dame. I just don't understand who they're supposed to be going against. Who are they trying to fight? What does this have to do with anything? What is the end game? Who is the last person for them to like handle? Who is this team? Because in the movie The Mummy, there is an organization that's similar to S.H.I.E.L.D. but handles these monsters, basically. They see a little glimmer of the creature from the Black Lagoon, which also they want to make a movie of that. They have a hand of his, so I'm gonna have to assume that's from the past. The creature of the Black Lagoon will probably, if they actually are able to make this film after the destruction of the Mommy movie, if they actually are able to make that movie, this will probably be a prequel to that, depending. And they have the fangs of Dracula, or they vampire teeth to be exact. Not necessarily Dracula, but they do have the skull of a vampire. I mean, me personally, I'm not that familiar with like the past monster movies. I never really seen them like that, but of course everybody through like time knows of these characters, these creatures, these beings. But what in the hell are they supposed to be fighting? Now see, if they had Dracula Untold and actually did use it as a continuation, or like the actual first starter for this franchise, for this dark universe, then okay, you have an idea of who the antagonist can be. It could be the man that's at the end of the movie who plays one of the Lannisters in Game of Thrones. It could be him because at the end of the Dracula Untold, spoiler alert for those that haven't seen Dracula Untold, he says let the games begin. He could serve as a type of antagonist, somebody that could be working for someone bigger. It could at least type of foreshadow something that's going to come. That's why they messed up. I just don't understand what on God's green earth is the whole purpose of them making this, besides the money. Now, making a universe movie franchise, now that's hard. It's no easy task. It never is. But when you really don't really seem like you have an actual objective, where the movies aren't really building up to anything or leading somewhere, then it's like, why should the audience care? Why should I care? Why should you give your money? Because it's a movie? No. You don't have to pay for the Mummy. You don't have to pay for these movies to see them. I didn't. I most certainly didn't pay for this. I saw it on my Kodi, which is a Fire Stick, and be honest, it totally wasn't worth the money. You would have wasted all your cash, if anything. It was a big waste of time. Now, I'm not sure if there are some that actually did like the movie. For those that I've known that seen the movie, they hated it. And that's what I'm saying. At least with all these other universe, there's an end game. With the Marvel Cinematic Universe, Thanos is the end game. For one, as far as I can tell, they are gonna make another Avengers movie, which is apparently gonna have another climatic boss at the end. So there's different things going on with the Marvel Cinematic Universe. They're doing their own thing, but for each of their characters' individual movies, why yes, they do connect all together at the end. In the end, let alone at the end credits, they still establish their characters. Even Marvel, Captain America, Civil War helped teach us that the most, because you had two new characters that were introduced. You had Black Panther and you had Spider-Man. Spider-Man Homecoming was a great movie. It helped establish Peter Parker as a character on his own. But at the same time, in Civil War, even though we only got him for a couple minutes, you felt that that was Peter Parker. It didn't feel like it was just thrown in there or anything. He was somebody that's been there since it was confirmed that in Iron Man 2 that was him as a little kid. But still, that's not the point. He was still established. He wasn't just a random person. But Black Panther is the best example overall, because he wasn't somebody that was just brought in randomly. He was there for a reason. And then when tragedy struck, that's when he donned on the Black Panther. And that's when we got his character. And he was introduced. And then he was well oriented. He was well choreographed. He was well introduced. And then he was well written. It showed that he was a different person. And then his movie is going to help do that even more. Help him come into his own even more than we were given in Civil War. Despite the problems that everybody has with the DC cinematic universe, as bad as their movies usually are, except for Wonder Woman, and I will admit Suicide Squad is a guilty pleasure, but that's mainly because I do like the casting of the movie. I do like some of the people they have, and there were some small moments that I did enjoy, but the movie was utterly trash, and I could make a video eventually on how it could be better, which is an idea. But in the end, they have an end game of what their movies are to do. Now, cinematic universe with a connection of the Suicide Squad, I don't understand how much I don't really see them connecting with it. The only hints I see is when they're just comparing to, Superman died, so who's gonna take care of the problems that come ahead, and that's their only purpose really. But other than that, I'm not seeing them come in the end to help defeat Darkseid, because eventually we all know, if anything, Justice League 2 is when we're gonna get Darkseid. Because as far as I'm concerned, we get Steppenwolf for Justice League 1, who I believe somebody related to Darkseid. I'm not sure how the Flash movie is going to connect. It's it's going to take place after Justice League, but even though they are out of order, they still have an end game. They still have a final person. There's still a goal to go for. And for the MonsterVerse, yes, they said that a couple of the monsters from the original Godzilla are going to be there. They said that, okay, because with the first Godzilla movie, personally, it wasn't something that I really enjoyed, but it was something that was apparently, which I had no idea until Kong came out, that it was trying to establish its own universe, the MonsterVerse, which has my attention and honestly is way more entertaining than a Dark Universe. But for Godzilla 2, they plan on having Mothra, Rodan, King Ghidorah. I don't know how that's going to correlate for Godzilla 2, because I believe it's called Godzilla 2 King of the Monsters. And I believe that's to take place maybe after Godzilla 1. And I'm I'm just a little curious on how everything's going to correlate. I just know they have Millie Bobby Brown. If you've seen Stranger Things, she's going to be in there. But I'm not sure how big a role it's going to be. But also, what surprised me is that Kong Skull Island, it was a prequel. It took place before Godzilla, because it takes place in 1980, 1970. I kind of forgot. But it also still connects, because then at the end, for spoiler alerts for those that haven't seen it, it tells us that Kong isn't the only monster. That's how they find out about Godzilla, and they show other original monsters from the Godzilla movie franchises. So that's establishing that universe. And then he said Kong does get bigger, and eventually I guess Kong lives for a good amount of time. I'm not sure how long it is, but it seems like it's a good amount. But he's gonna get bigger, which is gonna help lead to, I believe, the Godzilla versus Kong movie. I mean, who knows how Godzilla King of Monsters is gonna end? I mean, hey, he might fight the other monsters with the help of Mothra, then beat them. Then that's you hear Kong's roar at the end of the movie. I mean, I'm totally down for that. I probably might just make my own predictions of a video about that myself. But at the end, but still, there's still an end game. There's still an end game when it comes to that movie. It's to get Godzilla and Kong to fight each other. Now, I'm not saying these movies are gonna be good. I'm just saying they have a plot, they have an objective, they have a goal. There's a mission statement. Now, the Dark Universe, I have no idea. I just don't know. What else is there? If they can make a Dark Universe, I guess they can make any type of universe they want. For God's sakes, you can make a Hanna-Barbera action figure universe. What else is there? Make a cartooniverse. I don't know, guys. If you guys have any idea what they could do for this Dark Universe that they're going for, or you have a universe of your own, I mean, just make a comment below. Like, I really want to know what universe you guys can make up yourselves. Maybe it'll be even better than their universe. Because honestly, what is this Dark Universe? What is the purpose? Just to give us and show us these old school monsters, bring them back to the picture? That's like trying to reboot Freddy Krueger. Well, they did that, and then you got Friday 13, then they did Halloween, but it's like trying to make them in the whole same universe. Like, what the hell are you gonna call that? Like, it's just so forced. That's all I have to say, guys. I'm Red Star Geek. I hope you enjoyed this, and I'm gonna plan on doing more videos like this. Also, make a couple movie theories. It's just gonna be my own little thing, just for fun. But I hope you guys enjoyed it. Please do tell me what you think of this Dark Universe or any of the cinematic universe movies that we have been given, and also tell me about your own that you guys have an idea for. And always, if you want me to talk about any movie trailer, any anime, TV shows, all depends. Just comment below and like if you dare, subscribe if you care, and key on for Miles.
I'm like a star, I'm burning out fast. I try to shine, but it's never gonna last.